Okay, so we are back for Chapter 4, The Bailey School Kids. Jack-o'-lanterns don't... No, let's try that again. Aliens don't carve jack-o'-lanterns. Chapter 4, where we left off. The planet Lyron. The gym had been transformed into a scene from an outer space movie. Shiny silver paper covered the walls. Bright green and orange control panels lined the room. Silver stars and planets twinkled from the ceiling. Several other third graders clustered around the man in the shiny pants. "We are going to have a ball at the party," Mr. Sparks was saying as Melanie, Liza, Howie, and Eddie made their way towards the group of kids. Mr. Sparks spoke faster and faster as he told the kids his plans. "I've studied the history of your Halloween celebration, and I have planned the perfect party." "My Halloween celebration? Wait a minute, what's his? Or does it just mean humans in general?" Maybe Eddie's right. And I have planned the perfect party. First, there will be a costume contest. I'm sure there will be many Martians, space bugs, and my talk invaders. Then we'll bob for apples. A girl named Carrie raised her hand. "I can't get my golden curls wet," she says. Mr. Spark looked worried. "Well, will they fall off?" he asked. Carrie giggled. Once she assured him her hair was real and would not come off in the water, Mr. Sparks continued, telling the kids about his plans for the party. "After we bob for apples, I will be your DJ for the Halloween dance. I'm picking out all the traditional favorites, like Monster Mash, Purple People Eaters, and Night on Bald Mountain." "Is that a song about Principal Davis's bald head?" Eddie asked in his most innocent voice. Liza jabbed Eddie in the side. "You'll get in trouble for making fun of the principal," she warned. Mr. Sparks didn't seem mad. In fact, he looked confused. "I do not believe Principal Davis's head is the same thing as a mountain." Mr. Sparks said slowly before continuing to tell them what he had planned for the party. "The evening will end with a pumpkin decorating contest. I've even been practicing. I carved my jack-o'-lanterns. You will use markers and paint for yours." Mr. Sparks hurried to the side of the stage to pull out a heavy cord. Slowly, the blood-red stage curtains squealed open. There, lined up on the stage, were 8 jack-o'-lanterns. Only these jack-o'-lanterns didn't look like most. One had 3 eyes, another had 4 noses, a third had 8 antennas stuck on with poster putty. I don't know what poster putty is. "Aren't they wonderful?" Mr. Sparks asked. "You will get to decorate your own creation Saturday night at the party. The most creative pumpkin wins a surprise." Eddie pushed to the front of the kids. "I don't care about apples. I don't care about jack-o'-lanterns. I definitely don't care about dancing. What I want to know is when we get to fill our treat bags with creamy, gooey chocolate." "Yeah," a boy named Huey echoed. When do we get the candy?" The smile seemed to slide right off of Mr. Sparks' face. "The party will feature a different type of trick-or-treating," he told them, suddenly very serious. "When you come to the party, you must all bring a bag of candy." Then he clapped his hands 3 times. "Enough chit-chat," he hollered. "Let's get busy, busy, busy." Most of the kids hurried to follow Mr. Sparks' direction. Not Eddie. His face was red, and he threw his baseball cap on the ground next to Howie's sneakers. "What planet is this guy from?" Eddie muttered. "Everyone knows you get candy at Halloween. You don't give candy." Liza stared at Eddie. "What did you just say?" Eddie didn't answer her because Mr. Sparks interrupted them. "Work, work, work," he yelled. "We must have the gym ready for Saturday night." Melody stepped up. "I'll hang orange and black streamers from the bleachers," she suggested. No, 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 no," Mr. Sparks yelled. "That will never do. Everything must look exactly like the planet Lyron." He stressed. "Lyron?" Howie asked. "I've never heard of that planet. It's from another solar system, far, far away from here," Mr. Sparks explained. "Now, I need you 4 to stuff tiny bits of paper into this wire screen to make it look like a giant python." "Oh, no thank you. I'm going to pass. I don't do snakes." "Oh, no, I'm sorry. Plypaton? I don't know what a plypaton is either." "Okay." "Plypaton," Howie blurted out. "What's that?" Mr. Sparks paused long enough to put his hand on his hips and peer down. "Oh, come on, Paige." At Howie. "You ask a lot of questions," he muttered, "and I have no time to answer them all. Now, let's get to work, 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 work." The kids stuffed tissue paper into a wire screen like Mr. Sparks told them, but Eddie quickly lost interest. Goofing off was his plan. He wandered over and started pushing buttons on one of the control panels. A loud whirl exploded in the gym, and the lights flashed on and off. Eddie, Liza squealed as the lights flashed one last time and a siren went off. What have you done? I don't know what Eddie's doing. Chapter 5. End of the world. I thought Mr. Sparks was going to bite off Eddie's head, Howie told his friends as they walked home. That would never have happened, Liza said seriously. Eddie isn't sweet enough. Eddie took off his hat and thumped Liza on the head with it. It wasn't my fault the circuit breaker blew, Eddie said, swishing down his red hair as he pushed the cap back on. Mr. Sparks thought it was, Melanie said. Did you see his eyes? He was so mad they glowed green. I hope he cools down in time for Saturday's party, Liza said. It would be a shame if Eddie didn't get to come. Howie nodded. I'm sure Mr. Sparks was kidding about the candy. I bet there will be tons of sweets at the party, especially since we all have to bring a bag. Nothing can keep me away, Eddie bragged. I'd do anything for candy. I'd even battle a three-headed monster from outer space. You're worse than any monster I know, Howie said with a laugh. On their way home, Eddie pulled his friends into a small market on the corner. Why are we going in here? Liza wanted to know. Eddie's stomach rumbled. Because all this talk about Halloween parties made me realize how hungry I am. I want to look at all the candy I plan to trick-or-treat. I plan to get trick-or-treating. That's not really how that works, but okay. Eddie started counting out candies on his fingers. Caramels, licorice. Ugh, I don't like licorice. Does anybody like licorice, honestly? And most of all, chocolate. Liza smiled. I guess looking wouldn't hurt. Too bad we don't have any money, Howie said. We could buy a snack right now. Melanie giggled. I have $2 whole in my pocket. I could treat you. Eddie felt like hugging Melanie. Instead, he hurried down the aisle of the store, but when they reached the section where the candy was kept, they screeched to a halt. What happened? Melanie asked. It's the end of the world, Eddie groaned, and his hands holding his cheeks. There must be a simple and logical explanation, Howie said slowly. The four kids stared at the shelves. The shelves were totally empty. Howie is right, Liza said. Everyone must have bought all the candy for Halloween. I'm sure the store will order more. They'd better, Eddie said, holding up a fist. Or I'll send them to the moon. This is what it looks like. I think Eddie's going to be all right. Liza stumbled back against the bread display. 8 bags tumbled to the floor, but Liza didn't notice. What's wrong? Eddie asked Liza. Did your legs stop working? Liza shook her head. Her eyes were wide open. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. Okay. 6. Invasion from outer space. Melanie rushed to Liza's side and thumped her on the back. Liza gasped. She swallowed. She blinked. Are you okay? Howie asked. Liza looked each of her friends in the eyes. Finally, she shook her head. No, I'm not okay. And neither are you. In fact, Bailey City is in serious trouble. I agree, Eddie said. There isn't a single piece of candy to be found, and Halloween is only a few days away. What could be worse than that? I'll tell you what's worse, Liza said. Mr. Sparks is an alien from the planet Lyron. What, Melanie? Howie and Eddie blurted out at once. It's as obvious as 2 plus 2, Liza said, pulling her friends closer so no one else could hear what she told them. He appeared out of nowhere. His clothes are as shiny as a spacesuit, and he's turning our gym into a planet that no one has ever heard of before. What if we're really helping an alien instead of planning a party? Melanie didn't believe Liza for 1 second. There are no such things as aliens from outer space, Melanie pointed out. Howie stepped up. Howie knew everything there was to know about space because his dad worked at the Federal Aeronautic Technology Station, otherwise known as FATS. Yeah, okay, well thanks. Actually, Howie said in his most scientific voice, the possibility of existence of life forms living on other planets has not been disapproved. After all, there is a lot of space. Why would life only exist on one tiny speck of a planet? Eddie glared at Howie. Stop talking like an encyclopedia and say that in plain English. Eddie told Howie. What Howie is saying, Liza said, is that somewhere out there in space, there is probably at least one other planet with aliens living on it. I believe the planet is Lyron, and Mr. Sparks is getting ready to invade Bailey City. I don't know about that. Melanie sighed. Even if there were aliens, why would they come to Bailey City? Howie held up his hands and started ticking off reasons to take over our planet, to hide from bad aliens, to learn about humans, to get something they don't have on their planet. Or, Eddie interrupted, trick or treat and steal all of our candy. Liza didn't laugh along with Eddie. She was serious, dead serious. I think Eddie is right, she gasped, and pointed to the empty candy shelves. I think Mr. Sparks is an alien, and he's here to steal all our candy, especially the chocolate. Melanie giggled. Howie smiled. Eddie laughed out loud. I doubt an alien would zoom across space for light years just because we had a sweet tooth, Eddie said. Liza shook her head. Don't you get it? Everyone knows that candy gives kids energy. That's true, Eddie said. That's why my grandmother won't let me have any candy at night. What if, Liza said slowly, aliens from Lyron have learned to use the energy from candy to power spaceships? That would mean Mr. Sparks would need all the candy he could find, Howie said slowly. Exactly, Liza said. When he drained all the candy from Bailey City, he'll go to another city. He and his invading aliens won't leave our planet until there isn't a piece of candy left anywhere on planet Earth. I don't know how I feel about that. We'll stop at chapter 7. Give your best guesses, though. If that were true, and candy really did power spaceships, how far do you think they'd actually make it? And do you think that somewhere like Hershey, Pennsylvania, where they manufacture the most chocolate, would be the most worrisome place for them to go? Or can you think of another area where they would find all sorts of candy goodies that would power with energy? Leave me a comment. Bye, guys.